Hey, Jason, good to see you. I know you know this already, but the RMD formula is changing for the first time in decades. We're going to break down whether that is actually good news for retirees. But for the first time in 20 years, the IRS has changed how much we are required to withdraw from our retirement accounts starting at age 72. So, what is new?
What the IRS did is they updated what they call the lifetime table, or it's basically the divisor that's used when calculating your distributions. So essentially what they're doing is they're taking into account that we're living longer. And so
Hmm.
you'll see that previously at age 72, the divisor was 25.6, and they've now increased that number to 27.4. And when you divide by a larger number, if you remember from math class, when you divide by a larger number, you end up with a smaller result. So essentially what they're doing is reducing the amount that you have to take starting at age 72 compared to the previous table.
It was my understanding there's not going to be any math in here, Jason. So,
Sorry, that's just
but no, let's bring in a little bit more. Jason, what is an RMD and how is it calculated?
so what happens is at the end of the year, on the very last business day of the year, December 31st, you take whatever the value is of your pre-tax retirement accounts and you divide that by that life expectancy factor. And that result is your required minimum distribution, or the amount of money that you must take out of your account. And if you fail to take the money out that you're supposed to, the IRS will penalize you 50%, 50. So if you're supposed
Wow.
to take out $1,000 and you fail to do so, it's a $500 penalty.
Oh my, that is significant. Okay, so Jason, I know that you are really passionate about this question because I think the headline that we were all reading is that this is great news for retirees. Your money can grow longer, tax deferred. So you're going to have a bigger pot of money. But of course, that bigger pot of money means a higher tax bill. So this isn't necessarily great news.
It's actually really bad news,
Mm.
and I call baloney, and I would use a different
Officially baloney.
I would use a different word if we weren't in this forum,
Yes, yes.
but it is complete BS. The IRS has really pulled a fast one on financial advisors, on consumers, because essentially what they've done is they're saying, look how much we're helping you out. We know you don't want to take your required minimum distribution, because we hear it all the time as advisors that people say, well, I don't even want to take the money out. Why do I have to take it out? I don't want to pay tax on it. So the IRS got smart to that, said, hey, guess what? We'll reduce the amount of money that you have to take, and we'll let you start taking it later in life. And what does that do? It ends up creating a larger pot of money, which sounds great because that all that money gets to grow tax deferred and all those things. But the problem is with the Secure Act, they took away the ability for many beneficiaries to stretch out the distributions that they have to take when they inherit the money. They
Hmm.
shortened that runway from lifetime to 10 years. So imagine if you're 55 years old, you inherit $1 million, and you used to be able to take that out over your lifetime, which could be 40 plus years.
Right.
Now you have to take $1 million out in a 10-year window. And so that creates a tremendous amount of increased tax. So it's a
Absolutely.
larger pool of money that's going to be rated more by the IRS. So I think that
Yeah.
they really pulled a fast one here. And I'm blown away that, advisors are not just screaming that this is, you know, not good for consumers. So that's why we're taking very proactive approaches to address this now
Mm.
before it becomes a problem.
So let's talk about those proactive options then. This is why having that holistic tax plan that you preach all the time and having those Roth accounts is so important.
Precisely. I mean, having all of your money in IRA, or having all your money in Roth IRA, or all of your money in non-IRA is unwise. It's good to
Mhm.
have money in all of those buckets for various reasons, and it's all part of the tax plan. So if you have an investment plan that doesn't take into consideration managing taxes, it might be time for you to really reconsider what your investment plan is, and potentially even who you're working with, because that's one of our big focuses. Because what we find is that it's not the investments that create more wealth, it's preventing money from leaving your coffers and going to the United States Treasury.
Mm. Interesting. Yeah, I guess, the other takeaway here is the IRS doesn't necessarily have your best interest at heart.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, what's their job? Their job is to enforce tax law. So,
Mhm.
Congress creates laws, and then their job is to go and enforce it. And their job is to collect tax for the United States Treasury. That's their job. But there is nobody, in the United States that has a patriotic duty to pay any more tax than they are required by law. And so we're going to use every piece of the law, all 70,000 pages of the IRS tax code, to try to save you as much money as possible. And if you're not getting that service from your advisor, then it's really time to start, considering other options.
Yeah, yeah, well said. Jason, this was really helpful. Thank you.
My pleasure.